Hello and welcome to the She Who Dares Wins podcast. And my guest today is Georgia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so question. She Who Dares Wins. Can you tell me how you've dared and won?
What, just generally in life?
In life, yeah.
I mean, my probably biggest dare was when I was 22 and I bought a one-way ticket to Australia, and that resulted in travelling for 7 years. So that was a big dare that paid off because nobody believed in me. Everyone was like, this girl's going to last like a couple of weeks. I was proper Essex back then. So I took a risk, took a bit of a dare and went for
7 years?
7 years, yeah.
Did you come home at any point?
I come home a few times for the bog standard things like weddings, like people are very rude, they like to get married. So I was like, okay, I'll come home and see it for bits and bobs like that. But yeah, 7 years.
But this wasn't like a nomadic lifestyle, or was it?
It was a combination, really. Like, I done a few working holiday visas. So I lived in some places and then I done some like typical backpacker traveling. So yeah, it was a bit of everything, like lots of randomness. Like I worked in the outback for a while of Australia, which honestly, that was an experience that was character building. Like I travelled through Africa, like went from like Cape Town up to Nairobi, done like the typical Southeast Asia, lived in Canada, lived in New Zealand. So yeah, done a bit of everything.
Was there anything, well, firstly, my question is, what that's the wrong word, but what inspired that to buy the ticket and go?
Well, a few things. So I was training at the time as an accountant. So I thought that was what I was going to do with the rest of my life. Like, I'm going to be a chartered accountant. And at the time, like, I had quite a toxic relationship. And this is going to sound pretty weird, but it was on the early days of Instagram, and I remember sitting in that office, and I mean, I worked for a great company, like nothing, it wasn't like I had this horrendous job, but I remember opening up Instagram and I saw this meme, and I can't remember the exact words to this day, but it was something like, my greatest fear is having a life that I only look forward to 2 weeks of going on holiday every year. Something along that. And I don't know why, sitting in that office and being in that relationship at the time, it just really hit me. And I was like, am I going to spend the rest of my life like staring at four walls? Is this it? This surely can't be it. And I went home that night, and then within a week I decided I'd wanted to go to Australia, do this working holiday visa, and I just booked this one-way ticket. Completely, like I say, was not in my character. My friends like to tease me about how before that happened, we'd actually all booked like a group holiday to go to Ayia Napa, and we'd got into this room in Ayia Napa, and I mean, it was just a basic bog standard room. I got into there and I was so upset. I was like, what is this room? And they was like, this is the girl that literally walked into a room in Ayia Napa and was upset by a room being not great, and then you went travelling for 7 years and booked a one-way ticket to Australia. Like I say, it was not in character. And yeah, I just fell in love with travelling.
That's amazing to have that insight though at 22.
Yeah, I don't know what it...
Some people probably have it like 10, 15 years into like the drain of doing a job, but there must instinctively have been something that meme then like tipped, which is really cool. For you so you were in a did you quit the relationship as well, or were you out of the relationship?
Oh God, that's a whole story. But yeah, we broke up, and then he ended up we got back together, and then he decided he wanted to come to Australia, but like literally within a week of him being in Australia, it was an absolute just carnage.
Okay.
So then we done our own different things, but yeah, that actually what sparked me going into the outback, because I kind of weirdly was like, the only way I'm going to get away from this is by going to the outback. So I took a job in the outback.
What was that doing? I'm intrigued.
Oh, it's super random. It was 18 hours in from the coast. Like I sat on a bus from Brisbane for 18 hours in a place called Longreach. And looking back now, I mean, I definitely don't have stranger danger now. But back then, I would say yes to some random things. So I went into a shop in Brisbane, and it was... I can't even remember. They just like offered backpackers jobs, and I sat down and they said, oh yeah, we have this job in the outback. And I was like, what would I be doing? A bit of everything. In Australia, in the outback, they have these kind of they're bars, hotels and bottle-os.
Okay.
So they don't sell alcohol in supermarkets. They sell them in like separate shops.
Is this like a drive-through? I've heard of that.
Yes.
This. Right,
so
okay.
this place, it was a hotel, a bar and a bottle-o, but I'm talking ratchet. I didn't realise when I got there. I should have probably Googled it before I got there. It was proclaimed one of the worst and roughest pubs in the whole of Queensland.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it wasn't, but that's kind of what the vibe it was giving, and that's what people had written. And yeah, the owner reminded me of Hugh Hefner.
Okay.
He was a very interesting character, and he used to, if we wasn't working on a Wednesday, we'd have to go and play bowls with him. Like I say, it was a very random experience.
This is like, I'm getting feels of, there's that horror movie, isn't there, in the middle of Australia where it's like a couple of houses and everyone's like killing each other.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Some people that come into the bar was like, you've got dead bodies in your backyard, 100%.
Wow.
But yeah, I honestly weirdly loved the experience. It was such character building because you saw a completely different way of life that I would never have seen. Like, when would I have ever have seen rural Australia, that kind of life, kind of anywhere else?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was no relationship no more after that. I mean, you weren't coming to find me there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who's gonna? That's amazing. So from Australia, then you've visited so many countries, but none of this was related to your work with wildlife and photography. Do you think that any of that might have like embedded a little bit in you, especially when you were in Africa? Did you do any kind of like animal safari kind of thing?
Yes, I've done a load. I mean, I kick myself now because I travelled all the way from like Cape Town up to Nairobi. I went through like 7 countries, and the only photos I have, well, I don't even really have any photos. I took some on like a Nokia 3310. No, it was like an iPhone. So yeah, I think subconsciously it was kind of all building up under the surface, but nothing, I wouldn't say I liked wildlife any differently than probably the average person. I thought obviously seeing lions was cool, giraffes were cool. I thought I really, really enjoyed the whole experience, but if I was to do it now, it would be completely different. But I do think those experiences shaped how I got into wildlife photography without me kind of realising, if that makes sense.
Do you think it's quite nice that you did it without doing the, like being where you are now, because it would have been, like you said, a different experience? You'd have perhaps been thinking about more photography and work wise than actually just kind of living in those years where it sounds like you did as many things as possible to just try and figure out, like, have experiences, but also what's life about.
Yeah, I think all them experiences shaped who I am now and has led to what I'm doing now. So I think if I was more into photography or into the wildlife, I don't think I'd be in the position I am now. It'd be completely different, but it obviously had an impact and kept, I think it was kind of like little like Lego building blocks. It was kind of giving me these little blocks to then all of a sudden, when I was having an experience, it would tip me over the edge to be able to do what I'm like into now and be what I'm into now.
So what was that turning point where you started thinking, oh, I really, really like birds, wildlife, and then the photography? How did that come about?
Yeah, so that's another bit of a random one. Like I say, I didn't go to university. I haven't studied like zoology or anything like that. I have no background kind of in wildlife or animals, but I've always loved them. I grew up on a farm when I was younger.
Ah, okay.
So a goat farm. We had 150 goats.
Right.
Yeah, again, random. But my parents, like, they wasn't particularly wildlife people. The farm was like a means to an end. My mum loves animals, but again, no more than your average person. Last year, I decided, it was like the beginning of last year, I decided I wanted to get into photography. I've always loved being creative and aesthetics and seeing photos and stuff kind of along them lines. And last year I was like, right, all through my travels, I really liked taking photos, but I never really took it too seriously. I was like, I want to get into this. I want to give it a good go and I want to get into photography. The main aim was more to do with hiking and and more to do with general nature. which in hindsight, that's why it's called Nature with Georgia. Now, I would not have called that page Nature with Georgia. It'd have a completely different name. So yeah, the main aim was to get more into that kind of style photography, a bit more general, not as niche. So I started like taking pictures and with my hiking and stuff. And then one day we had nothing to do, me and my boyfriend, and I suggested that we go to an RSPB reserve. So a little bit of context on the RSPB. 2 years prior, I'd gone to the Ideal Home Show with my mum, and it's like a little thing that we used to go and do. And we was walking around, and there was a stall, RSPB. And I didn't really know what it was, but they were saying, like, do you want to donate? So I learned a little bit about it and was like, yeah, of course, I'll donate. I donated to this RSPB for a whole year. Didn't know what it was, really. Didn't really understand. Had never gone to any of their reserves. And then the next year I went back and I saw the stall again. I was like, oh, yeah, I donate to you guys. And he was saying, have you been to any of our reserves? And I was like, no. So that was fresh in my mind. So when a few weeks later, me and my boyfriend had nothing to do, I was like, well, I went to this thing at the Ideal Home Show and I've been donating it for like 2 years. I was like, maybe we should go and check out a reserve. And he's into photography as well. So he actually rented a longer lens and was like, oh, I'll get some photos and see what there is. So I had no interest, really, of taking any of that kind of photography, but I was really into hiking. So I was like, oh, it'd be a good walk. You can take some photos. And we went to this RSPB called Falmere. So it's in like Cambridge area. And I got in there and we was walking around and sitting in the heights. And honestly, it felt like I was seeing birds for the first time in my life. I was kind of looking at things and going, like, has that always been here? Like, that's pretty cool. Like, look at the colours on that. Like, this is really a whole other world that I didn't even naively know existed. And it just spiraled from then. Then, because I was trying to get more into the photography, it kind of just went hand into hand and went, why don't I take photos of birds? Why don't I do this? And because I loved Pokemon as a kid, it kind of felt like adult Pokemon. I was like, oh, I'm getting another bird.
Finding, okay,
yeah, like
right.
you get in, like you've got your Pokedex, you've got your Pokeball, and these are your little Pokemons, and it felt like that. And I've got quite an addictive personality, and it just went off in my head, and I just continued like a domino effect to just keep going at it and love it.
But you say that, like, your photography is phenomenal. Like,
thank you.
No, it is. Was that thing that naturally just happened? Like, I know you were taking pictures when you were away, but I think with photography, there is a lot of skill set in it. It's like, like what you can see. And I think with what fascinates me about nature photography as well is that the things are constantly bloody moving.
Oh my God, yeah. You're like, keep still for a second.
Yeah.
Just stay still.
Yeah, there's the finding it, the excitement, and then I imagine the composure to be able to get the shot.
Yeah.
Is it a form of photography that you think is more exciting because of that?
Yeah, I think for me, that brings such another level of your model isn't going to do what you say.
Yeah.
I can't go, like, if I was taking a photo of you, I could be like, oh, can you move a little bit to the left? This isn't working, let's put you over there.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a bird. Like, can you imagine me going to a bar now? I'm not feeling that post. Can you go and fly over there? Yeah. You're completely at their, like, you've got to do whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. You've got to completely change and suit what they want to do. And I think it's so exciting, and I love that. I love that you're not in control of it. I love that aspect, because there's so many things now in life where we can control the outcome. Like, we know what's going to happen. Yeah. We know what we're going to do. Whereas that, it's got a variable that you can't control. So I think it's so much more satisfying. Don't get me wrong. There's so many other forms of photography that are difficult, like, and aren't easy. But I do think wildlife photography just gives another layer that other photography doesn't. And I really crave that.
So how long have you been doing this? A year?
I started, I think I took like my first bird picture in April last year.
That's mental. When you look at like your stuff on social media, like,
thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then you also do videography with that as well. So have you now managed to make this passion into a job as well?
No, not yet.
Is that something you want to do, or are you still like, because I think one of my guests previously said this, that there's a beauty in keeping something as like a hobby and an interest and not always having to monetize it. Like,
Absolutely, I so agree. It's a difficult kind of balance that I'm navigating at the moment, because I do a normal 9 to 5 job at the moment, customer service. I'm not passionate about it. Is it something I want to be doing every day? No. Is there worse jobs or things I could be doing on a daily basis? Like, I'm not down the pits, like shoveling coal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's fine. But I would much rather wake up every day and be passionate about something. But I do think there's a delicate balance in trying to monetize things that you're passionate about, because you can lose passion.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to navigate it in the right way to hopefully one day I can do it in a full-time role or position or some kind of capacity, but I don't want to get to a point where I don't love it anymore, because that would be such a crying shame.
Yeah. I think that sometimes that people assume, don't they? They're like, well, you're so good at it. Like and there's this kind of grey area where it's just a beautiful thing that doesn't have a lot of pressure attached to it. Because I'm imagining if you were to do photography for, I don't know, a company or a magazine, then you've got to get the shot, and that adds another element to it. Are you documenting on YouTube?
I want to do way more YouTube. I've got a massive passion for longer film, but because I work full time, it's hard to find the time. And I know people are going to be like, that's an excuse, but it is, because there's only so many things you can do. So, and I want to do things correctly. So I definitely want to do like documentaries, like getting more into longer film, but it's just trying to balance it all at the moment.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, you're only a year in. That's just like insane.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying. And also I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which this is like social media and doing wildlife has stripped that away, which in a good way. But then I also don't want to just do things for the sake of doing it. I want to do it and think like, oh, like I've done a good job at that.
Yeah.
Or I've actually like put my full self into that.
And if you found, I imagine so, is there a community that's rallied around you now that is into the same thing? They love your photography, they love birds. Have you found like a new niche of a community that's come to you via social media?
Yeah, I suppose social media and through just birding. One thing I always like hark on about is how nice people are at nature reserves. I wasn't expecting it. When you go to a nature reserve, there's such a sense of community. Everyone's saying like, oh, I've just spotted this bird down here. What have you seen? Everybody's chatting to each other. It's so nice. Like, I've gone to so many reserves and people are just so friendly and so wanting to help and just talk about what they see. It's just really wholesome. And social media, I honestly sometimes am so overwhelmed by how nice people are. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the messages are wild that people have said to me.
Really?
Oh yeah, some people have said some wild things. But that's the minority.
Okay.
The majority is so... Yeah, I'm so blessed how people have received it, because I'm not your typical person that probably you would see doing bird watching, so I could understand some people are going to say certain things. But yeah, I started doing community kind of like nature walks, like free nature walks at the beginning of the year, and the people that showed up to that, like, I just love them. They're so nice, and it's nice to meet people in real life behind a screen and say, oh, this is the person that comments on my photos or comments on my videos, and know them and have that real life interaction. And it's slowly building up a little community, but I'd love to have a proper built up community.
Well, it's nice that you're changing perceptions as well. Like unfortunately, we all judge, don't you? And you think, right, it's going to be a guy in a tweed with a hat down and his little book and he's looking for birds.
Yeah.
But there's a whole generation now that like literally live life through a screen. Are you connecting, or are you seeing more young people getting into nature reserves? Or
yeah, I'm really surprised. I've had a few teenagers and young people turn up to the nature walks, and I always am really in awe of them, because at their age, I would not have been seen dead at something like that. And I look back and think now I'm uncool. When I see these kids and teenagers turning up, I'm like, wow, like, this is so cool that you're here and that you care about this.
Yeah.
And seeing a lot of people that are like me, and yeah, I think it's breaking the stereotype, and you see a lot more diversity and different people doing bird watching now, which is great, because obviously big out to the old men in the tweed, because I love those because they always get the greatest sightings. But it's nice to see like differences of people and not just kind of your stereotypical bird watcher.
Yeah. And what's like a real passion for you? Like, what's something that you come across, a bird that you might come across that you think, oh, that's my bag? Do you have one, or do you just love it all?
I do love them all, but I am an owl fiend. Like, I love
Okay.
owls. I don't know what it is about them. They're just mystical.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I was a witch in a previous life.
Okay.
And I got had a little owl with me. Yeah, I love barn owls. My friend actually made me really fall in love with them. He's obsessed with barn owls.
Oh, okay.
Tawny owls. But yeah, I just like all birds, honestly. I'm a big advocate for pigeons, which people
Oh,
know me
what?
for. Yeah, I love a
Okay,
pigeon.
that's-
I think they're so misunderstood. Like, they're villainised and they've done so much for us. So, love a pigeon, love a dove. But yeah, honestly, I love all birds. I haven't found a bird yet that I haven't liked.
Right. Okay.
Maybe I will, but I haven't yet.
Yeah. I think, I don't know enough about birds. Like, I used to, when I worked on landfill, we'd have a lot of red kites down in Oxford.
Yeah.
And they're quite impressive. Even now, if I spot one, I'm like, yeah, pretty awesome. But there's actually like a nature reserve.
I saw a sign. Yeah, is it Rodley?
Yeah, it's down there. It's like 2 minutes away, and it's on our doorstep. Literally, it's 2 minutes for us to walk. So we have been, but only in like the murky little ponds.
Gotta love a murky little pond.
Yeah, but I think it's open on Wednesdays and Sundays, and now and there's loads of people that go.
Yeah.
And you just think this is something that we don't necessarily do, that we need to. Excuse me, somebody is buzzing in my, and it's irritating me, so I will turn that off.
Giving you a little buzz.
Yeah, there we go. Do not disturb. It's the first for everything. All right, so you're now on this like amazing journey. Do you feel like you found your thing?
Kind of and kind of not. I'm not big on like cementing things because then I think you can't evolve or change. Like, I like to kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, birds are definitely not something that I didn't think that would be on my bingo card for my life, but I do feel like this is the most passionate I've been about a hobby or something in my life. Normally, I am one of them people that gets obsessed with something really quickly and then it dies. This is I've never had a hobby that, other than hiking, but this is so different to hiking. I've never had a hobby where I kind of have stuck on it for that long and it's just got more and more.
I think that's true testament to knowing that it's something, isn't it? I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like, over the years, I've picked stuff up and dropped things.
Yeah.
And I think the more you try, and then the thing that you have can then feed into other things.
Definitely.
After, but if it stays consistent, then you know, oh, I'm onto something here that is kind of.
Actually, I might like this, and I can stare at birds, a photo of it for hours. Like, you have to strip me away from the computer, and I know. If I'm not getting sick of it after staring at it for hours, there's something in it, isn't it? Like, if you can do something for that long and still not be sick of it, then you're like, okay, I must like this then.
There's something in it.
Yeah.
Do you think bringing people into it is also part of it? So you do the nature walks. Yeah. You're doing a trip as well, aren't you?
Yes, which I've never thought this early on I'd be able to do a trip, so I'm super excited.
Is this just, have you just organised this by yourself, or are you doing it in collaboration
No,
with
I'm
someone?
working with a really good company. So it's called, they're called Untravelled Paths, and I went out there this year with them. He's great, James. He's the owner. He's a really good character. He is so well travelled, so we had that in common. He can top my stories by a mile. You talk to him about a random country and he's been there and he's got this crazy story, so he's great. But I actually just sent him a DM last year and was like, hey, like, I like the look of your trips, like, why don't we work together? And he was like, yeah, okay. And it just evolved from there. So I actually went to the Danube Delta in Romania in May. And there was no plans for me to do like a tour or anything. It was just for me to make them some content, see what the trip's like, blah, blah, blah. And then as I was out there, I realised that this place is really special. And I was like, I would love to bring people there. So we had some talks when I got back. And I was like, we've got to take other people out here. I've never been somewhere in birding where, I mean, I don't want to say this because it's probably going to have the opposite effect now, but no one's there. We was literally like the only boat. And I was thinking, because I go everywhere for birding now, and a lot of the places you turn up, there's photographers everywhere. There's
really?
Yeah, it gets real. Like,
Does it get competitive?
oh God, yeah. Like, and then you get people. I mean, I wasn't there at this one, but someone was telling me at a spot that I went to for a long-eared owl. They said in spring the police had to be called because people were fighting.
Over a spot to get the best.
Yeah, or I think it was someone like they was getting too close to the owl, which is like, it shouldn't be happening, but fights broke out. I was like, this is meant to be a wholesome activity that calms you down. Why are people fighting? I'm like, chill out, hun.
Wow.
But yeah, people really gather at spots if they hear there's a certain species, say for example, a short-eared owl. If people hear that there's a lot of activity at a spot, you can, like 50 photographers could be there. It is like paparazzi.
Is this because the community is quite good in sharing what is there, and then people will flock?
Love it.
Yeah, there we go. Or does it go the opposite way in that if you spot something, you kind of keep it under your own belt? Like
it's such a delicate balance and probably quite a big topic for wildlife photography. I can see the benefits for both sides. If some people like to share their sightings and put where they are, and obviously wildlife's for everyone, nature is for everyone to enjoy. But at the same time, obviously, you do need to protect species because you don't know who's going to turn up. So it's a delicate balance, because then you can get into situations where some people's ethics might not be the same as yours, and then they're going and they're disturbing the species. They're creating an environment where it's not safe for the bird.
what would that include? Them getting too close?
Getting too close, or I mean, to the right extreme. Like, I mean, I'm not particularly well versed on this, so I could be wrong, but people can still like say like long-eared owls, eggs, like they steal eggs and stuff like that. So you could attract people doing bad
really
crimes.
shitty stuff, yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
heard that happening. That's in the slim minority, but yeah, the main thing is people disturbing kind of their environment and getting all up in their grill. So it's
like this underworld to birding.
Yeah, it can get really. I mean, I didn't realise any of this when I started birding, none of it, because I have no background in this.
Yeah.
So I've had to kind of learn what's right, what's wrong, what's the grey areas, and yeah, it's a learning curve, because like I say, like I always try to be objective and kind of see on both ends. But yeah, you can get people. I mean, it's hard because obviously people want to get close to get the best picture, but then at the same time, it should never be detrimental to the wildlife.
Yeah, you're always going to have people that push boundaries. It's like a personality thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they ruin it for the majority.
Yeah. It's like with any hobby, isn't it? Like, no matter what it is, you've probably experienced it in things. There's always that one person you think, for God's sake, Bob, just get behind the line. Like, why are you doing this? So it's typical.
That's fascinating. So Romania's a place where it's kind of a little bit undiscovered then, do you think?
Well, for me, we went in May, and most of the time we was the only boat. I think I saw maybe like a couple of other boats, and it's such a vast like place. You would expect somewhere like that, especially with the wildlife sightings I had great sightings. So for something that was providing that, you'd expect a lot more people. Like I say, I might have shot myself in the foot here. And next year when I go and take these people, there's like 10 million boats. But
thankfully, I don't think my reach is that big enough yet. But who knows? You can blame me.
This part's going to be clipped and everyone's going to go to the Danube Delta, get out there before it's too late.
I hate Michelle. She releases and now everyone is in there. Oh, that's cool. So where is a place in the world where people would flock to? Oh, stop using the word. Would go to.
I like it. I mean, obviously Africa, there's a lot of controversy happening in that like continent at the moment, particular parts like the Masai Mara. There was, I think, like a hotel built on a migration path. I think I can't remember the exact chain, but it was a big chain. And it's like disrupting the whole migration.
Oh.
Again, I'm not well versed in this, so people might want to do their own research. But yeah, there's particular parts that obviously in the world that are known for wildlife, and you'll see loads. And even in the UK, if you go to particular reserves that are known for a particular species, people will flock there.
Yeah.
And when people, I mean, I get a lot of information from Facebook community groups. So people put daily updates, say for something, I don't know, bearded tits, which come out in winter more. And once people know that they're there, I've been in a reserve where you've got like 30 people taking a picture of this little bird. So yeah, I mean, there's loads of places all over where people just know, or there's a particular time where they know they're going to get a particular sighting. So you'll get a lot of photographers, birders, twitchers.
Is that what they call? That's the
twitchers, yeah.
Twitchers. I love this. It's like a whole kind of world that, like you say, we don't know. And I find it interesting when you said that it did open up a world of things that you hadn't necessarily seen, but they're all around us.
Yeah.
We just don't, and that's really sad, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I think it's so typical of today's society, though. It's kind of like we're looking, but we're not really seeing. And I was definitely guilty of that. I always assumed that wildlife and something exciting was elsewhere.
yeah, me too. I wouldn't think, here we have, I would just think, right, we've got like normal birds, the birds that come into the garden, robins, stuff like that.
You just think, oh, it's boring here. Like,
Yeah.
you would never think the UK is good for wildlife. It's not something that comes forefront of our minds,
Yeah.
that we're tall or that's what we know this nation for. Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Pubs,
Yeah.
not wildlife.
No.
Like, that's not, but we've got amazing wildlife, honestly. I absolutely love the wildlife here. And I did not think that was the case at all. So when I started going to these reserves and actually like properly seeing what was there rather than just nonchalantly assuming or not really taking any care or looking what's there, it opens up a whole new world.
Yeah.
It really, really does.
And I love that by you document, it's like anything with social media, but by you documenting it so beautifully online, it's going to raise awareness.
Yeah.
And that is great. Like, we have a lot of people that come on the show like, I love social media and I hate social media for all its best parts. But I think this is one of those occasions where you think, yeah, it's kind of putting it out there. Not many people are picking up especially wildlife books anymore. So it's another media, isn't it, for people to see things through. How has the transition from like photography into videography, like, was that again just a learning curve, or is it something you're more passionate about?
Yeah, I try to do both from the beginning.
Okay.
So
No, is it with the same? Would you do it with the same camera?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So videography, I would say, is harder.
Yeah.
I do photography as well, but it's harder in different ways. Video, you're going to have to tell a lot more of a story. Mm-hmm. Whereas photos, you can tell a story, but you don't have to be so much, I don't know, like video is just, there's so much more to think about. Like, the editing is harder, I think. Obviously, what are you videoing? Like, if you're talking, it can be a lot harder because people don't want to see you being like, hi, this is a bird. Please enjoy this lovely sparrow next to, like, you've actually got to work on yourself as well. Mm-hmm. And there's so many other things that you don't think about when you're doing photo. If you take a photo, you just like, or you just like act natural. The photo's taken. Whereas videoing yourself, it's very obvious if you're like,
yeah,
like, it just reveals a lot more errors and a lot more reality, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found video a lot more rewarding, but a lot harder. I would say I prefer video and filming and that aspect to photography, but I still love photography.
Yeah.
I think maybe because it's harder, that's why I like it. Because
it's a challenge.
You get that more challenge and that sense of accomplishment at the end of it. But yeah, I've got a long way to go, a long way. I look at my work and I think that's not even a fraction of what I want it to be like.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited then because it's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's really kind.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think long form, again, is another thing, isn't it? Like, if you can get into long form YouTube, which is incredibly hard, but it is, I always think that it stands better long term, which is the same with podcast, in that you can get a bit more nitty gritty into it, like
Definitely.
the process of finding a bird, shooting it, and then maybe even what you do in edits, or there's so many elements you can bring in with video, but it's so time consuming. I think a lot of people don't consider that. But yeah, it's exciting. I think there's lots of these little cool areas that you can stretch out into, and it's an exciting time. I literally can't believe you're just like a year in looking at your work. It's awesome. You can see the passion in there. Before we finish up, I want to ask you, you've traveled to so many countries. You've got to give me like your top place that you would just go back to time after time.
New Zealand.
Okay.
I love New Zealand.
Because?
So I lived there for 2.5 years.
Right.
And it's a beautiful place. The mountains, the landscapes. And
North or south or both?
I mean, they're so different. Like,
Yeah.
south is your mountainous, and then the north, you've got more like the volcanic activity, the thermals. I mean, you still get kind of like the Maori culture down south, but I feel like it's a little bit more like you can see it a bit more up north. I love the Maori culture. Like, I think it's beautiful when I was like hearing kind of like the stories and how they speak about the land and at one with nature. I think it's a beautiful way that they speak about that. And yeah, like I just love everything about New Zealand. You know, sometimes you get somewhere and it's just a feeling. Like, if it was closer, I would live in New Zealand. It's just like you can't pick a further away place, can you? It's like literally the other side of the world.
I know. So I've got family in Auckland.
Yeah.
And we were only over there for a week, and I think I was like a teenager. And I remember a family member saying, "Oh, it's just like Wales."
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's so much more than no offence to anyone that lives in Wales.
It does
But,
remind
like,
me of Wales, though.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got
Yeah.
the vibe. And Scotland, like, I was just in Scotland last week, and there was places I was seeing, and I was like, this reminds me of New Zealand, like different, but it's got the same kind of vibe. Wales and Scotland really remind me.
So I've not done enough of Scotland. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like, in fact, literally just Edinburgh and Glasgow, that's it. And I feel like it
gotta
has,
get out.
I feel like it has so much more to give. And it's on the doorstep. I've done quite a fair bit of Wales, but again, just for work stuff. So not really, you know, out in the spaces that are incredibly beautiful. And I think that's another thing we forget about this country is we have amazing places.
Oh my God, so honestly, doing the birding, I've travelled around the UK. The UK's beautiful.
Yeah. Where's your favourite place in the UK then?
I mean, I love Scotland. I
Right,
love
okay.
Scotland. Like, we was recently on the Isle of Skye, and we done this hike that was called the Peak of Strife, and it was honestly it was the most stunning view in the
Okay.
whole of the UK. But yeah, I love Scotland. I love the Pembrokeshire coast.
Right.
Like, with Wales, that's got a really special place in my heart because it's where I saw puffins for the first time.
Yeah, I
on
know
Skoma.
puffins. Like, we've got puffins.
I know.
I wouldn't have thought you could find them in Wales.
Yeah, Skoma Island, honestly, beautiful place. That was another like pivotal moment that I travelled to and saw birds, and that really changed me to go, oh my God, birds are amazing. But yeah, the UK's got loads of nice like spots, and I
Yeah.
used to think it was absolutely awful. I'm like, what's good in the UK? So yeah, I am a big lover and a big advocate of go out and see the UK. We've got some amazing spots. Don't think it's all doom and gloom. I mean, sometimes it is, but beautiful. So yeah, actually the UK as well. I think more people should travel around the UK.
And that's good knowing someone that's been all over the world that you know is quite
Yeah.
comforting to hear that you've seen so many places. How much of I think this is quite an interesting question that I've asked myself in the past. So how much of going to places do you think you value on the feeling rather than the experience? Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I
Yeah.
think I've been to a country and it wasn't necessarily the country, it was the experience of the people and the
People that you met, yeah.
experiences.
Ooh, I don't know. Like you say, a lot of the experiences I've had in countries do influence you to kind of big it up more because of the people you've met and things that have happened. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you can think, oh, this is really beautiful, but then the people are really rude or you have a really bad experience. So I think they kind of go hand in hand to like do the whole picture. But yeah, I always think the people you meet will always play a massive part in what you take away from visiting somewhere, always.
And also, do you think the wildlife as well? Like if you...
Now it would be such a big part. I mean, it was definitely a part of it in the past, but nowhere near as much now. Now I'd be absolutely buzzing if I saw like a bird, whereas before I probably wouldn't have even noticed it. I'd be like, that was the best part of my whole trip.
Yeah,
I'm like, won't stop talking about it for 3 days. I'm like, did you see that? Did you see that? Whereas before I wouldn't have even noticed it. So yeah, it would definitely make up a big part of it now.
Amazing. Well, I think so. We're doing amazing. I think your story is incredible. You've definitely dared and won, and I think there's still a lot of your journey to go. I want people to check out your Instagram page because it's awesome. Your passion for what you do is incredible. And I think people are going to turn up to see that, but also beautifully be educated and then visually be able to see what it is that you're experiencing that we can all go out and experience for free, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for finding your passion.
Aw.
And also I think this is really cool that a lot of my guests are kind of using their passion as a job. And I know you're not quite there yet,
Yeah.
whether you want to be or not. And I think that's really nice. I think this is kind of a nice discussion to have with you you're in that really exciting stage that I know, because you're very self-aware that will probably still stay. And the trips might be part of that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you have to let us all know what happens in Romania.
Oh, yeah. If
But
there's
yeah.
10 million boats there now.
Yeah, it's going to be my fault.
No, I won't blame you. Don't worry.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely.